Most supercars should be terrified of what Porsche just unleashed, because right now we're pushing the 2026 Cayenne Turbo GT to the absolute edge of what's physically possible, and what we're finding out is that 2 tons of steel, titanium, and carbon fiber can move like it weighs nothing at all. Active Aerodynamics, reworked twin-turbo internals, a chassis that seems to laugh in the face of Newton's laws. The question everyone's asking is simple. Can an SUV, a family hauler, actually outdrive a dedicated track beast? Stick with me, because by the end of this you're going to look at what an SUV can be completely differently. Let's start where the violence actually begins, deep inside that 4.0-liter biturbo V8. Porsche didn't just tune this engine, they rebuilt its soul. The internals have been reworked to push power figures past benchmarks we used to reserve for exotic supercars. Numbers that genuinely shouldn't belong under the hood of anything with a backseat and cup holders. But here's the problem with unlocking that kind of violence: heat. A 5,000-pound machine generates a brutal amount of thermal stress when you're lapping it hard, and if you can't manage that heat, the whole system chokes on itself. So Porsche engineered a thermal management setup aggressive enough to keep this beast composed lap after lap, when lesser machines are already begging for mercy. And then there's the exhaust. Titanium, lightweight, purposeful. It's not there just to sound good though, trust me, it sounds absolutely feral. It's shaving weight off a vehicle that desperately needs every ounce trimmed, while giving you acoustic feedback that tells your nervous system exactly how hard this engine is working. You feel it before you even see the speedometer. Now here's where things get genuinely strange, in the best possible way. Picture a vehicle this size rotating through a corner with the agility of a 911 GT3. Sounds impossible, right? That's the rear axle steering talking. At lower speeds, it turns the rear wheels opposite the fronts, basically shrinking the wheelbase and making this thing dart into corners like it lost 800 pounds overnight. At higher speeds, it does the opposite, turning with the fronts to plant the car and keep it locked to the road. It's mechanical alchemy, plain and simple. Then you've got Porsche Dynamic Chassis Control, running on 48-volt technology, and what this system does borders on unfair. Body roll, the enemy of every heavy vehicle in a fast corner, gets virtually erased. You're carving through high-speed sweepers and your body just isn't leaning the way physics says it should. And none of that grip means anything without rubber that can actually hold onto the road, which is why Porsche worked with Pirelli to develop P0 Corsa compounds specifically for this 2026 chassis. Not adapted, not borrowed, built from scratch to maximize lateral G-force, so when this SUV loads up in a corner, the tires are right there with it, not one step behind. But grip and chassis trickery only get you so far without air working in your favor. This is where the Cayenne Turbo GT stops looking like an SUV and starts behaving like a ground effect race car. The new adaptive carbon fiber rear wing shifts and angles itself in real time, generating serious downforce once you're deep into triple-digit speeds, pressing the rear of the car into the tarmac exactly when you need it most. Up front, air curtains cut through the fascia, funneling cold air directly onto those massive ceramic composite brakes to keep fade off the table, while simultaneously slicing drag, so the whole nose of the car stays efficient instead of fighting the wind. And then there's the roof. Carbon fiber, yes, it looks incredible, but that's not really the point. Every gram removed from up top drags the center of gravity lower, and in a vehicle already fighting its own mass, that lower center of gravity changes everything about how confident this thing feels when you're pushing it. So here's the moment of truth. Does any of this actually translate into real performance? Or is it just clever engineering on paper? Porsche took this thing to the Nürburgring, and the telemetry tells a story that should make mid-engine exotic owners a little nervous. In specific sections, particularly through fast transitions where mass usually becomes a liability, the Cayenne Turbo GT is closing the gap on cars that have no business being compared to an SUV. And off the line, launch control transforms the reworked 8-speed Tiptronic S into a weapon, firing this thing forward with a violence that catches traditional sports cars completely off guard. There's a psychological shift that happens the first time you experience this. You're sitting in a vehicle that looks like it should be doing school pickup, and it's behaving like a precision-milled track weapon. That contradiction messes with your brain in the best way possible. Step inside and the cabin backs up everything the chassis is promising. It's evolved into a digital command center, engineered around driver focus, stripping away distraction while still delivering the luxury Porsche owners expect walking into 2026. Every screen, every interface decision, it's all built around keeping your attention exactly where it needs to be when you're carrying serious speed into a corner. And that's really the story here, isn't it? This is what happens when software and hardware stop competing and start working as one system. The result is, without question, the most capable internal combustion SUV Porsche has ever built. In a moment where the entire industry is sprinting toward electrification, Porsche looked at the combustion engine one more time and decided to make a final, unforgettable statement with it. The 2026 Cayenne Turbo GT isn't just fast for an SUV. It's a genuine benchmark, a disciplined weapon wearing a family hauler's body, engineered with a level of precision that forces you to rethink what 2 tons of mass is actually capable of on a racetrack. Porsche didn't just build a faster Cayenne, they built an argument for why gasoline still has something left to prove.